Hello, my lovely, and welcome to the Prosperous Yogini Podcast, episode 47. Oh my days, I am so close to that year anniversary. And don't worry, I have got plans to mark my podcast birthday, and they will only include you guys, my podcast listeners. So only the people listening to my podcast will know about the podcast birthday celebrations, and I'm super excited to share that with you. But before that future event, I want to alert you to the fact that the doors to my 6-month transformational mentorship program for yoga teachers, the Prosperous Yogini mentorship program, are reopening at the end of this month, Friday, the 26th of May. Mark it in your calendar. You haven't from then until Monday, the 5th of June to come on in. And I really want you to seriously consider coming on in this time round. At the moment, my mentorship program is $695 for 6 months, and it includes self-paced study modules, bonus modules, a community space of like-minded teachers, like-minded cheerleaders, where you can ask for help, and I'm in there responding to your questions for help. We have 2 group coaching calls a month, a teaching clinic, so I help you with both sides of your job as a yoga teacher, the act of teaching and the act of running your business. And there's also personal support, and some of that personal support is WhatsApp voice messaging support, so you can ask me a question anytime and I'm there to support you. That level, it's a high touch group program. That level of support at $695 is an incredible price, and because it's such an incredible price, that when the doors reopen in the autumn, that's going to be different. All right, my darling. So come in now. Come and take the opportunity to have all of that at this amazing price. Now, and I'll put, sorry, before I get going, I'll put the link to the mentorship program in the show notes, and you can add your name to the wait list so you can make sure that you get in this time round. Now, today's podcast is really inspired actually by those in my mentorship program and inspired by the support that I give them. So when you join my mentorship program, as part of the onboarding sequence, as part of me getting to know you, you fill out a questionnaire all about where you are in terms of your yoga teaching, your yoga business, and what you'd like to get out of these 6 months. I have a look at your whole business, where you're at, a website if it exists, social media if it exists. I have a look at where you are, what you've already got, and I suggest a pathway to profit. That is what you may like to consider doing in order to turn your passion into profit. And this is personal to you. This is completely tailored to you, because many of the challenges that we'll have in the business world and the coaching world and the mentoring world and these group programs is they apply a one size fits all. And that actually doesn't work, because your brilliance is in your uniqueness. Your pathway to profit, your pathway to taking your passion, your skills, your knowledge as a yoga teacher lie in you completely honoring who you are, how you want to show up in the world, how you want to teach, and what you want to create in terms of your business. And my mentorship program, because of the personal touch, ensures that happens. So we fill out this questionnaire and I get to know you really well. I get to know your business. And the group that came in at the start of February, we're 3 months into working together. And this week, one of the jobs I've done is go through where everyone's at and send them out a mid 6 month, 3 month into working with me email to say, look at what you've done. Here are all your wins. A massive pat on the back. And then there is a suggestion of what we might do to really maximize those future 3 months together. And if you're listening to this sound thinking, this sounds amazing, Amy, is it just 6 months? Those guys that are currently in my program working through our initial 6 months together, they then are invited to stay in. And it becomes like this rolling membership where you can stay in and be part of the coaching calls, part of the community, and part of that support with me. Anyway, today's podcast is all about sharing your wins, because that's what I've been doing with those guys in my mentorship program. And I kind of feel like I'm also going to share my wins, because their wins feel like my wins. When I see their success that has been guided and supported, and I've been their cheerleader, which helped them to take action, it literally fills my heart with joy. And sharing your wins is such an important part of growing a business, that lights you up, growing a business that energetically seems to just happen. I've talked a lot about energetic alignment, getting behind the energy, aligning up that vibration that we see here. See that magnetic marketing. Come and say it. What is magnetic marketing? Basically, it's getting in energetic alignment of completely who you are, how you want to show up, with complete faith and belief that what you've got is needed, and that energy goes out and starts to attract people to you. And yes, some action on having a presence on social media, having a presence on Google, maybe having a website, physically getting out and talking to people, putting up some flyers, telling people about what you do, taking action. Yep, manifestation comes from aligned action to satisfaction. So you have to take action, but it has to come from an energetically aligned place. And sharing your wins is so important, because what we focus on expands. So I'm going to give you a really great example of this. So you are teaching, you've just started teaching, and you start a new class, and 2 people turn up to your class one week. First class, 2 people turn up, right? So first of all, let's talk about that. You could go, oh, this ain't gonna work. 2 people, I've just about covered my rent. I'm not making money as a yoga teacher. Only 2 people turned up this week. I'm not very good. You've literally just started. What about if I rephrase that to, I've just started and 2 people have come, and I am so grateful for these 2 people that have seen my yoga class and had faith. They don't know who I am, had faith and come along. And those 2 people proved to me that if I can get 2, I can get 4. If I can get 4, I can get 8. And I will build my community, my tribe over time. See how just that little reframing of sharing the win, the fact that 2 people turned up, it wasn't a complete empty class. And there is the sharing of the win. Rather than focusing on the fact that you would have liked more, you focus on the people are there, and that magnetizes people towards you. But let's take it that the following week you turn up and teach, and now there are 4 people in this class. And you, again, could look at this 2 ways. My class is still quiet. I'm still not making a lot of money from this. I'm clearly not a very good yoga teacher. This isn't going to work. 4 people. I thought I was going to have, I can get 16 people into this class. How do I get 16 people? Oh, there's loads of yoga teachers. This area is too busy. This ain't going to work. Right? That's one way it could go. Or you could look at it as I had 2 last week, 4 this week. I just had 100% increase in the numbers of people attending my yoga class. 100%. The 2 from last week have come back. The fact that their 2 came back tells me that I'm good. Tells me that when I get the right person to my classes, my dream student, my loyal student, my ideal client, whatever you want to call them, that person that just happens to like do yoga with me, that human being that vibrationally we get on, right, who enjoys my yoga class, they've come back. Because people are really selfish, right? If they didn't enjoy your class last week, they ain't going to come back next week, even if they are your mates, right? I'm just going to let you know that now. So celebrating that 100% increase, focusing on that, what we focus on expands. Before you know it, that class will be full. And if you had gone down the route of focusing on what you don't want, and the absence of what you want, then that's what you're focusing on. If you focus on what you do want, then this is this magnetic energy. This is this magnetic marketing. And it takes time. Like, it takes time to put that energy out into the world. It takes time for it to be received. But over time, that class will be full. And that's 100% what I've seen for those in my mentorship program. They come in, their class numbers are low, they're feeling despondent and disappointed, because I won't lie, it's tough to turn up and teach a class and break even. Worse, lose money. No one turns up. You spent time planning this class to turn up to this class. I know how all of that feels, right? I know how all of that feels. And to have someone by your side cheering you on, giving you a strategy to invite more people in, and encouraging you to keep going and have faith that things are going to grow and going to improve, but also a plan that, if things don't, well, what's my other option? What is the universe telling me if this thing that I'm persisting in isn't working? That's what you get in my mentorship program. So I'm going to share with you I've picked out, how many have I got here? Yeah, 5 people for my program. I'm just going to use their first name. 5 people in my program, and I'm going to tell you where they were at the start when we started working together, and 3 months in, where they're at now. So Lisa came to me. She's been teaching for 20 years. So Lisa was a really, really, really experienced yoga teacher. She's been teaching longer than I have. And she had small but dedicated class numbers, really inconsistent income, fluctuating numbers each week, a low income. So she was, making between £500 and £1,000 a month from her classes. She had social media, but she wasn't really using it, not much of a presence. She had a website, but it was a Wix website, and she still had the Wix.com in it. She had lots of training, lots of experience, including the ability to run an 8-week mindfulness course, because she's trained in mindfulness with the Mindfulness Institute. And she came to me with, look, 20 years in, everyone's overtaken me. I can't do this technology side of things. My class numbers are low. I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm still not really making any money. And Lisa, 3 months in from working with me, has 4 classes. We've changed her pricing structure. We've changed, timings, and got really, really clear on what those individual classes are for. She's set up her online payment and a structure that encourages consistent income. So those class numbers are now full. Not to mention, Lisa put together a mini retreat, which she just sold to her current audience. They absolutely lapped it up. 16 people booked onto this retreat. And I think it was about mini retreat. It was just half a day, 3 hours. Lisa made £500 from that. Not just that, it booked out straight away. She can refine and improve and actually charge a bit more because it was so popular and she was offering so much value. She's got another retreat coming up in a few months' time, and she's already got it half full. Just actually not even really doing much on social media, just by emailing all of those people that booked on to say, hey, do you want to secure your spot for last time? It was full. She's turned off on social media, and she's an absolute dream to see on social media. Her website has got the Wix taken out of it. She's refined her messaging, her pictures, and she has, what's she done? Refined her messaging, her pictures. Oh, and she can take online payment. And now Lisa and I are thinking about where she can go from here. She's got her classes nailed. She's got her marketing strategies nailed, talking to people, social media, her website. She actually started to use the inbuilt website mailing list within Wix, since paying and upgrading for her Wix site. So she's talking to her mailing list. We're now thinking about consciously building that mailing list. And also, how can we use her skill in terms of this mindfulness course that she's got and create some form of passive income? Because Lisa can see that she's at that max in terms of how many times she wants to go out and teach a week, how many times she wants to go and run these mini weekend retreat workshops. What else could she do? Well, her Wix site, she has the option to build online courses and sell through that. So we're now starting to think about that. Massive win for Lisa. Fills my heart with joy to see an experienced teacher, a brilliant teacher, massively turn around her business. And not just that, it's the pathway of possibility that is open in front of her. The next lady is a lady called Liz, who, interestingly, we trained together. I've known Liz right from the beginning of my yoga teacher journey. Liz is incredibly experienced, in-depth knowledge. If you want to know about philosophy, pranayama, the subtle energy side of yoga, this is your girl. And Liz inherited some classes in a local area. She mainly teaches like an older generation, a generation that might be looking for more gentler, potentially chair-based class. And she inherited some classes from a teacher that was retiring in her local area, picked up these classes, and all was good. Finished teaching, qualified, picked up these classes, and had all she needed. Inherited busy classes. Now, guess what happened? We know what happened in 2020. COVID happened, and it decimated her class numbers. And perhaps more so because of the demographics she was teaching. These were people in a lot of cases with additional health needs. It's been much slower for Liz to return to those pre-COVID class numbers, to the point when Liz joined my mentorship program, she felt like the opportunity had gone. She'd lost what she had pre-COVID, that she was at a stage in her life, stage in her career, stage in her business where it was all too late. She'd missed the boat. She couldn't see a way as how she would get her class numbers back. Not just that, when she joined the mentorship program, actually a few people then pulled out of her classes, and it felt really bleak. It felt really bleak. And I really sympathize with Liz. Like, I'm sure for those of you yoga teachers that have been pre and post COVID worlds over the last 3 years, I'm pretty sure most of us have had these moments where we're like, blimey, what has COVID done to my business? And see, overall, COVID has drastically improved my business. COVID has shown me that we can adapt and we can grow despite the external circumstances or what we might be being told. And that deep-rooted belief that I had, I was able to take that to Liz and say, listen, Liz, we can do this. We need to get the energy behind it. And I'll tell you how we did it. Liz got a really good friend to come take some beautiful pictures of her and her classes. These pictures are amazing. We're using them to update her website. We've been putting them out on social media. Her clients, her students that do come to her class, are immensely loyal. They love her. And Liz went to her loyal, dedicated students who love her and say, help me build these classes back up. And they did exactly that. And when we're talking about marketing, we're always thinking about our own endeavors. Please do not forget your students, whether your regular hardcore students, the ones that come every week, that love everything you do, they are your greatest cheerleaders, and use them. And there was this real sense of all of us, Liz, her friends, her students, us in the mentorship program, they're rallying behind Liz and going, you can do it. 3 months in, Liz has got these lovely pictures, has really made a difference of energy in terms of social media, showing up on video as well. She's great on video. She's working through refining her website and her class numbers. Well, one of her classes have all. So her class numbers have picked up. The other classes also picking up. Not just that, she's been offered an opportunity to go and teach in a retreat. And this is when we get in an energetic alignment. Suddenly people come into our lives, things happened, synchronicities happen, opportunity arises. You think, well, I didn't know that was going to come. Where did that come from? It came from energetically lining yourself up with that. This is so hard to do by yourself. This is so hard to do when you are feeling really low. And sometimes you do need that person to wrap their arms around you and say, I've got you. This ain't going to happen. I know you can do this. Let's go. And that's exactly what happened with Liz. And I feel really passionate that we need all types of yoga teachers in the yoga industry, and everybody should have access to yoga that is suitable for them. And Liz provides that accessible yoga. Liz provides a model of a yoga teacher who is into an older generation, and does also have some mental health issues herself, which she's really open about. And she's a beacon of light for her students, and is passionate about supporting the local community. And it was like one of those moments like, no way are you going down, because the community where you teach needs you. So Liz's success, a massive win for her, a humongous win for me. If I think about it too much, I get a bit teary actually. That gets me right in my heart center. Love it. Okay, so there are 2 examples of some experienced teachers that came into the program. Next I had Chloe. Now Chloe newly qualified, so had started 1 class and class numbers were really low, but she'd been going along and teaching this class, but the class numbers were low, and her messaging around this class was lovely but a bit woolly. So the first thing we did is get really clear on, like, who's this class for? Who's this class really for? And that also, like, getting people through the door with what they think they need. And then of course you can deliver and invite them to think about other things. And then Chloe is also trained in pre and postnatal and toddler yoga. And Chloe had started 3 new classes in pregnancy, toddler and mum and baby yoga. So I've helped Chloe set up her teaching schedule, get out there, not yet with a website, but that's in the making, with a booking site, with social media, and using that local, on the ground, going out, boots on the ground, as I call it, going out and talking to people. And she started these classes and she's had success. People have turned up to these classes. Not just that, numbers have been growing. And we had one moment where the week before she's due to start, can't remember which class it was, it might be mum and baby yoga, and she's like, there's just one person booked on, I think I'm not going to run the class. I'm like, you will run that class. Turn up and run that class. Turn up and know that more people are coming. Have faith more people are going to book on. And it could have been easy in that moment for Chloe to bail. She didn't, and more people booked on, and more people have come this week. And I'm excited to see Chloe's business grow. And just having that initial support, those first 2 years after graduating, they're so tough. It feels so hard. And to have someone who's been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, I've been teaching for 14 years, and know that sometimes you've just got to hold your nerve and sit in it and have lots of faith. I think I said to Chloe, despite the present reality, have lots of faith that it is going to work out for you, that it's going to look different. And that is exactly what Chloe has created. So I'm excited for the next 3 months to help Chloe get that website out there, get her more easily found on Google. So when a mum gets pregnant and she Googles pregnancy yoga in a local area, she can find Chloe, and also build up those class numbers. Then George also was a newly qualified teacher, teaching a couple of classes, and had a website. I can't remember what it was, who it was by, but it was okay looking, but she didn't have presence on social media. She didn't have online booking, and she couldn't be found on Google. And we have worked, George and I, to build a brand new website, actually off her own back. After spending some time in the mentorship program, she got this feeling actually of like, do you know what? This isn't a hobby. This isn't a hustle. This is my part-time job. She works part-time in one job, part-time as a yoga teacher. And that feeling empowered her to actually create a brand new website, new domain name, which of course I've checked, which of course I've given her feedback on. Absolutely beautiful site. She got someone to come and take pictures of her, all behind the energy of, I'm a yoga teacher. Her class numbers have now really picked up. Some of her classes are full. We've looked at starting new classes, and are now also considering where we might go in terms of offering a workshop, creating an offer for those people in her classes. George's website, the energy behind George's website says it all. And again, nothing gives me greater pleasure to see. It wasn't me saying, oh, I gave George some feedback on her initial website. I didn't say to George, I think you should abandon this. I think you should completely rebrand and start a new site. But George, with the energy behind me and being in my mentorship program, did that of her own volition. And I loved that. And when I saw her website, I was like, George, this is amazing. Like, I'm so pleased you've done this. And the energy has rippled through into all aspects of her business. And then like little things like George had got her Google Business Center listing, but what she hadn't done is activated the map. And she was like, I'm just not getting found on Google at all. So I had a look and I noticed that. And sometimes just you can't see the wood for the trees when you're just in your own business yourself. So it also helps to just have that person having the eyes on the prize, having a check into things. And I follow those are my mentorship program on social media. I get into their mailing list if they have one. Right now, actually, we've got a coaching call tomorrow in the mentorship program, and we are going to be focusing on setting up mailing list systems for that, options for that, inviting people into our mailing list, how we might do that, and nurturing that list, because that's where most people are at the moment. That's kind of where most people are heading. And then finally, Claire. Now you've seen Claire. Claire, I interviewed a few months ago. Claire's been working with me for a while now. So Claire came in last year and did her initial 6 months, and then has now stayed in what is now effectively, once you're doing the initial 6 months, if you want to stay in the community space, stay having access to the coaching calls, stay having access to the monthly teaching clinic, and that support and input from me, Claire's chosen to do that. And Claire right now has created an amazing online membership, Claire's Wellbeing Club. It is incredible what she's created, what she's offering, weekly classes. But it's not just yoga, it's yoga, well-being, skincare, because she's also a makeup and skincare artist. With that, with her work as a massage therapist, yoga teacher, skincare, wedding makeup, she's got lots of other connections. She's brought in community experts that cover a holistic range of topics. Claire has created this incredible community of knowledgeable women supporting other women, and part of this is yoga. And where we're at now with Claire is, whoa, this is special. How do I tell the world about this? And moving beyond just selling to current communities, selling into social media, selling into current mailing lists, but also how do I intentionally grow an online membership? How do I intentionally grow my membership? How do I have little offers? How do I have mini launches? And that's what I'm doing with Claire. So you can see from just that summary the diverse range of yoga teachers, and that's just a snapshot of the guys that are in there. That's just a snapshot of what we've done in this time together. That's just a snapshot of their wins. Probably talk for hours about their wins. I'm going to share my win. My win is my mentorship program. I had a dream. It's a bit like Martin Luther King. I did have a dream. I had a dream back in sort of mid 2021 while I was running my training courses, and at this point now I've been a trainer for 4 or 5 years. So I've accumulated, this doesn't sound the right word, but I've accumulated a lot of yoga teachers. I'd worked with a lot of people, I trained a lot of people, and I was really frequently getting questions and really frequently repeating myself. I'd started working one-to-one with people, and again I was just repeating myself. And the working one-to-one, you know, to make it energetically exchanged, the worthwhile, I realized pretty soon that I needed to charge a large sum of money to make the one-to-one model work. And I'm happy to charge some large sums of money, but I also really wanted to scoop up all the yoga teachers in the world. This is my dream: scoop up all the yoga teachers in the world that are out there doing what the majority of yoga teachers do, which is sharing some classes, sharing the love of yoga, creating some workshops, thinking about maybe a retreat, thinking about maybe creating some passive income into the online world, getting a few classes going, maybe working full-time as a yoga teacher, maybe working part-time as a yoga teacher, probably definitely female, and probably undercharging for what they're offering and not earning enough from what they're doing. And I wanted to do something about that. I felt like I had the skill, the knowledge to change this section of the community that were largely female, to help them take their knowledge, their passion, their skills, and create a way of working that serves them, serves their community. Because that's what I've done, and I wanted this for everyone else too. So I had this dream, and I kept saying all the way through 2021, Jane, who I run my yoga teacher training course with, I kept saying to her, I'm going to start this mentorship program next year. I'm going to start this mentorship program. And I didn't really know what it was going to look like. And a bit of faffing around, a bit of like umming and ahhing. And I put it out there to my community at the middle of 2022, the summer, July 2022. I put it out there at what you would call a beta. And I don't know if I've talked about this, but if you're starting something new, you're starting an online course, you want to test it, you do a beta course. It doesn't exist yet. You sell the concept, you create it as you go, and you use those people that have come in normally at a lower price, which is what I did, to help you create it, to help you refine it and create and grow it. That's exactly what I did. And Claire was one of those original ones, a small group of people that came in and helped me create my mentorship program. And I knew, it's a bit like Claire's wellbeing membership, I knew by the middle of 2022, by the middle of the autumn of 2022, I knew what I created was amazing. I was like, oh, the impact this is having with those guys that are already in it is amazing. And I went through the pre-recorded self-paced study. There's a 6-module program that you just move through, and it literally tells you everything you need to know in terms of the business side of things. I revisited all of this, and I was like, I've created something amazing here. And I was like, how do I get it out there? How do I get it out there? And the few times that I initially tried to get it out there in 2022, beyond that initial beta launch, nobody took me up on the offer. Nobody took me up on the offer. And as you will know, the long-term listeners of this podcast, I had a big launch event in January, and yes, people started to take me up on the offer. I've now got 12 people actively in my mentorship program, and I can just see now it growing. Go back to that class. You started your first class, 2 people turned up. The following week, 4 people turned up, and you sit in a huge amount of faith, which ain't easy, my darling, right? You sit in a huge amount of faith that what you've got is good, what you've got is needed, that there's a group of people out there that need this, and you're going to sit in this energy and continue to show up, and it will grow. And that's what's happening to my mentorship program. And I'm getting goosebumps because that's my win, because I know what I'm doing is brilliant. I know the impact that I'm going to have working with you is going to be transformational. I love seeing the results of my mentorship program. So with that in mind, that's my win. That's my win. I could have easily at the end of 2022 gone, nah, do you know what? Yoga teachers don't want this. This is not what's needed. I'm just gonna put it in the archives, right? And I stood in an energy of, I know this is needed. I'm going to do a launch event. I'm going to put Facebook ads behind it. I'm going to pay for a coach to help me with this. I'm going to pay for a Facebook ads manager to help me with this. I did all of that stuff. I spent money that with complete faith that it was going to come back, and it so did. And I so want you to be part of this. And I'm just going to remind you one more time before I finish today that the doors are opening Friday, May the 26th, okay? And they're going to stay open until 9 p.m. on Monday, the 5th of June, right? At the current price and current offer. I'll put the link in the show notes. That is $695 or 6 payments for £125. And that is the last time, guys, that you'll see it at that price, with this offer, with this level of support. And I really am going to encourage you to take me up on it. Okay, take me up on it this time round if you can, because I would love to work with you. If you do have any questions about it and you want to send me a message via Instagram or message via WhatsApp, let's get talking about it, because I know it's a big decision and I want it to be the right one for you. But so looking forward to working with some of you very, very soon. All right, my darlings, I'll see you all next week.